Shazam! Shazam! Might not look like much, but just like Billy Batson, every time I say Shazam, I also become a man. Hard to believe that when I first started, I only had a pencil mustache. And the longer I keep going, the closer I get to looking like the wizard Shazam. Soon, with a long beard, I'll look just like Jimon Hinsu. And then I can take the role of Fishman in Aquaman. Well, until I take Jimon's place in Hollywood, might as well talk about Shazam. Because after you've seen the movie, there's 6 things we need to talk about Shazam. Do I really need to say spoilers? Let's talk about one of the more obvious things first. The sort of appearance of Superman. That's right, the Man of Steel shows up in this movie, but he's looking a little different. He's missing his trademark face. You know, the one he makes, not in Justice League, that wasn't his face really, but yeah, we don't see Superman properly. He's in this movie, but we don't see him from the neck up. We only see this. The eyes are up here, perverts. However, this is even more interesting for a few reasons. First of all, it confirmed the long-standing rumor that there was a Superman cameo at the end of this film. Initially, that would have involved Superman actually talking to Freddy. However, of course, then we come to the more interesting aspect, which is that this seemingly confirms, or at least adds to the speculation that Henry Cavill might be done as Superman. So the rumor, way back at the end of last year, was that Cavill had quit. And the alleged reasons because of that were for scheduling conflicts, was why he wasn't in this movie, according to Warner Bros. But what we heard is that when he was coming up to the end of his contract, he apparently only had one film left. Now, whether or not an appearance in Shazam would have counted as part of that one film, we don't know. But Cavill was trying to renegotiate his contract. Some people say he wanted more money. Other people said Warner Bros. Weren't too keen on paying him more money. And also that he might have wanted control over a Man of Steel sequel, including script and director approval. We don't know any about that. What we do know is that this is not Henry Cavill. So you might say, who is this? Brandon Routh. No, of course it's not Brandon Routh. Throw Brandon Routh a bone, for God's sake. No, this is actually Zachary Levi's stunt double. So, what does this mean for Warner Bros. Future with the Man of Steel? Apparently they were talking about moving forward with Supergirl being the Kryptonian in this universe. We don't really know, but it looks like they don't have any clear plan for what to do with Superman. But it seems like, at least at the moment, Henry Cavill could return. They haven't officially recast him yet. Now, what else do we know from this? Apparently, I can't say I actually noticed it, but people are saying that this is a new Superman costume. Apparently, around his hips, you can't see my hips in this video, just know they don't lie, has got red and gold just around that area. Now, this could be making up for the lack of underwear in the modern DCEU version of Superman, which was a point of complaint for some people, and if nothing else is good because it will break up a lot of the blue. There's a lot of blue in this costume, and it kind of breaks it up somewhat if that is the case. So it's not clear what Warner Bros. Plans are for Superman, or whether Cavill is out or in yet, but at least he got a new costume. Let's get on to the reason you probably found this video, and that is the mid-credit scene. What the hell was that thing? So, what that was, well, let's go back to the start first. At the Rock of Eternity, said towards the beginning of the film, we see a glass case featuring some sort of bug. And later on, that case is smashed, which in the mid-credit scene is revealed to be Mr. Mind. So who is Mr. Mind? He's an alien worm from the planet Venus. He's highly intelligent, he has image projection into people's minds, he is at times telepathic, and also incredibly intelligent. But why is he such an interesting character? It's not just a weird throwaway villain. It's because Mr. Mind is often the leader of the Monster Society of Evil, which is a supervillain team that Shazam often faces. In fact, in comics, it was one of the first teams to be made up of villains the heroes previously fought. And Dr. Zavanna is often part of that, so this could be a tease towards a sequel. But we'll talk a bit more about a sequel in a sec. So you might be asking, what else do we need to know about Mr. Mind? For one, when he evolves at least, he's nearly invincible, and he can eat space and time to the point where he's created multiverses in the past. And you might be saying, who voices Mr. Mind? Well, Brandon Routh. It's David F. Sandberg, the director. Which we're kind of friends, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. you know. However, that's not the only nod to the Monster Society of Evil that we get in this film. In fact, at another point in the film, towards the end, the kids are all playing Monsters Inc. with the doors, they're looking indoors, and at one point, they see two crocodile men playing cards. Now, that might just seem like a random throwaway joke, and it works as that, but it's actually a deeper cut. You see, the Monster Society of Evil have a few henchmen, I guess you want to call them. They have massive amounts of these crocodile men, which are, there's a numerous of them, there's loads of them. They're seemingly constantly there. They're a frequent foe of Shazam, so there was a little nod to that. Henchmen for the Monster Society of Evil. But that's not the only Easter egg. And that Easter egg also comes to the Chamber of Animal, and that is Talkie Tawny, who is a giant talking tiger. I don't know, Shazam is just weird. I keep saying it. During the fairground scene, we see that he's trying to win a giant stuffed tiger, which is, of course, a reference to Talkie. And also, Billy has a sticker of a tiger on his backpack. Talkie Tawny. Let's get that solo film, DC. Grow a pair of balls. However, this film also gives us a look at an even more interesting character. That's right, more interesting than giant talking tigers and crocodile men. So, in a scene when Billy is talking to the wizard, he's warning him about the dangers of these powers, and he mentions a former champion who uses powers for revenge. And we get a very quick look at Black Adam. Or at least it looks like Black Adam. It looks like, he shows us a hologram, it looks like The Rock. It's Black Adam, it has to be, right? So Black Adam is traditionally a villain to Shazam. He actually possesses the powers of the Egyptian gods. And sometimes he's positioned as something of an anti-hero, and presumably he's going to get a solo film, which is what we keep hearing. So maybe he'll be an anti-hero in that film. But this certainly seems to be our first look at Black Adam in the DCU. The Rock is the producer on this, so maybe if this film is a success, we could see Black Adam sooner rather than later. We could see Shazam versus The Rock at WrestleMania. Just gonna Photoshop in the WrestleMania sign here, so it looks like I'm pointing to it. However, that's not the only superpowered characters we see in this film. In fact, at the end of the film, we're introduced to the on-screen version of the Marvel family, or the Shazam family, I guess they're known now. At the end of the film, all our foster kids manage to get the power of Shazam, and they adopt their own alter ego. So, a few of these are a bit more prominent than others. Mary, in the comics, was Mary Marvel, which is a fairly well-known character. In fact, she had her own series. Freddy was Captain Marvel Jr. Now, as for the others, Eugene, Darla, and Pedro, I think I got all their names right, they're a bit more recent. In fact, they were introduced in Flashpoint in an alternate version. And in that alternate version, all six of them joined to form Captain Thunder, who was that universe version of Captain Marvel. But they have also, I think, been reintroduced in the 52, so this isn't completely out of left field. We could definitely see them return a sequel. However, there's a few other interesting things about the Marvel family. Well, for one is the casting. In fact, as far as the people playing these characters, we have DJ Cortona and Adam Brody. Now, this might be a bit of an in-joke. Those two actors were meant to play Batman and The Flash, respectively, in George Miller's cancelled Justice League film, Justice League Mortal. So they ended up in the DC universe anyway. I guess it took them a bit longer, but they got there in the end. Now, the Marvel family in the comics is a bit more expansive. Who knows what other version you could see. Another prominent one is Uncle Marvel, who is the pudgy old fat man. Okay. And Hoppy the Marvel Bunny, who was actually a spin-off to Shazam, and is a walking, talking rabbit, because apparently Shazam is nothing but talking animals. Like I told you, Shazam is weird. And then we come to one of the weirder, more obscure Easter eggs that might reference a Marvel character, but we have to do a deep dive on that, so bear with me, people. If you think you find this hard, my brain is going to stop working at the end of this. Okay, so the security guard at Billy's high school is named Moran. That's presumably a reference to Michael Moran, who is the alter ego of Marvel Man. Who is Marvel Man? Well, Captain Marvel was put out by Fossa Comics, which, by the way, Fossa Comics, name of high school Billy went to. That's a beginner Easter egg. I'll throw that one in there for free. Fossa Comics were in a big lawsuit with DC, and what ended up happening essentially was that they stopped making Captain Marvel comics. However, in Britain, Captain Marvel was getting popular, so the comic book publishers out there decided, since there was no Captain Marvel comics, let's try keep it going. So they basically ripped off Captain Marvel and made Marvel Man. What happened with Marvel Man? Well, he was cancelled and revived quite a bit. Alan Moore wrote for the character. Due to issues with Marvel, the character's name was changed to Miracle Man. Neil Gaiman wrote for him. Todd McFarlane thought he had the rights to the character for a while. He repurposed that character as Man of Miracles for his Spawn comics. However, he didn't actually have the rights to the character, at which point Marvel went to the original creator and bought the actual rights to Miracle Man, or Marvel Man. So that means that a now DC character called Captain Marvel, now known as Shazam, was ripped off and turned into a character called Marvel Man, who is now actually Miracle Man and is owned by Marvel Comics. Well, the original Captain Marvel is not called Captain Marvel anymore, but the legal Captain Marvel is at Marvel. Well, the character had to be changed to not be sued by Marvel, now resides in Marvel and is not called Marvel at all.
Well, I gotta give my brain a rest, but if you want to keep going, you can check out my Shazam review on YouTube, or hear me talk about film, television, video games, and much, much more on the Pop Cult Pod every week on all platforms and podcasting apps, or on YouTube. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe because there's lots more stuff to come, and remember, you can't spell cult without you.